Archaeologists in Pompeii broke into a forbidden chamber and were shocked to see it. The ruins of Pompeii always stuck a researcher to a certain melancholy, and this time, a terrible one was found. Researchers broke into a forbidden chamber in Pompeii, and what they found there was shocking. You might think of some artifacts, etc., but the thing they found was covered with a layer of ash that was due to the volcanic eruption of Mount Vesuvius. The new discovery has made the place more pathetic, and archaeologists are looking for more discoveries to acknowledge the ancient life of Pompeii citizens. Today, let's discuss the Forbidden Chamber and what's inside. Watch the video with us till the end, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Here we begin. So, in 79 AD, the volcano Mount Vesuvius erupted and buried the city of Pompeii in ashes. One of the witnesses said that due to the eruption, the dust poured over the land like a flood and spread darkness over the entire population. As a result, numerous people died, and no one returned to the place again for various years. But when explorers came in 1748, the city was intact and preserved with Mount Vesuvius's volcanic ash. Thus, the city since then has become a popular site for experts and archaeologists to study. There, they learned what life must have been like in ancient Pompeii. But despite several discoveries, Pompeii is still full of hidden treasures. Recently, archaeologists discovered a forbidden room illuminating the inside of slaves who lived there before the eruption. So, what does that forbidden slave room have in it? During the discovery, researchers found a villa just outside Pompeii, and there, they discovered a hidden room with wooden beds and some other objects like pitchers, jars, and a chamber pot. It is suspected that slaves used to live in it, and under Roman law, it was the property of others. On that, Dario Franceschini, the cultural minister of Italy, said that this new essential discovery enriches the understanding of the ancient life in Pompeii, especially the class society that is still unknown. This hidden room is in the Civita Juliana, an ancient villa outside Pompeii, and researchers there discovered a ceremonial carriage, as well as the remains of horses by the stable. In addition, a wooden chest was found over one of the slaves' bed that was covered with fabric and metal pieces that could have been part of the horse harness. And two beds were 1.7 meters, while the last one was 1.4 meters and was for a child. Franceschini deduces the enslaved family residing in that forbidden room, and it also doubles the storage space, with almost 8 amphorae found in the corners of the room. This discovery was earlier done in 2018 when archaeologists found the ancient remains of horses. With a similar technique that has allowed them to recreate the final pieces of dozens of Pompeii victims, the liquid plaster is injected into the cavities left behind when bodies were encased in the volcanic eruption. Researchers could cast the remains to be of horses as they would have lain during the eruption. From the skeleton's remains, they believe the horses were adult ones, measuring around 150 centimeters tall. A trace of the harness and valuable bronze and iron was found, and its head suggests that the animals were specifically bred parade horses that were highly valuable. While the skeletons of mules and donkeys have been found at Pompeii in the stable attached to the house of Chase Lover, the Casa di Casti Amanti, it's the first time archaeologists have unearthed the entire outline of a horse. The distinct imprint left by its ears, pressed to the ground as it lay on its left side, makes the researchers confident that this is indeed a horse and not any other type of animal. Along with a dog and a pig, it is one of the few animals of any species to be successfully cast in Pompeii. Its survival is highly remarkable because the area where it was discovered, a sort of suburb of ancient Pompeii, has been recently subjected to illegal excavations. Warned to discover unauthorized tunnels, the archaeologists started new digs at the place to halt the intrusions and protect the remaining treasures. With the horse, they also found some objects like tools, kitchen utensils, jugs, and the grave of a man buried after the fatal eruption, which indicates that people used to live around the ruins even after the disaster. The Director General of Pompeii's Archaeological Park, Gabriel Zutrugel, said that this is the window to the precarious reality of people who doesn't appear in the historical sources. It also helps them discover the part of the ancient world that the researchers would know something about, which is extremely important. Here's an insight into the lives of slaves in ancient Pompeii. Well, seeing a small 172 meters square feet of space, the small area surprised the researchers. Zutrugel said the most striking thing is the precarious and cramped nature of the room, which was between a storage room and a dormitory. Though there was no sign of any decoration, the only sunlight source could have come from the small window high on the wall. Although historians know that slavery essentially built the Roman Empire, how the masters treat their slaves has been a mystery. The discovery is a rare peek into what life as a slave must have been like. The popular historical accounts belong to the wealthy or elite men, and lower-class people, like slaves, risked remaining invisible in the historical accounts. The researchers also hope for further excavation and analysis of the slave room to help them learn more about slavery in the Roman Empire. Zutri further said that it is one of the most highly exciting discoveries during his life as an archaeologist. The true treasure is finding the highly vulnerable members of the ancient society, to whom the room is a unique testimony. The discovery of horses still harnessed and saddled shocked the archaeologists. But 2 years after the discovery of the horses, researchers also found the two well-preserved remains of two Vesuvius victims in Pompeii. During the eruption, a wealthy man of around 30 to 40 years old and a young enslaved man survived the immediate impact, dying in a second volcanic blast the same day. Finally, after 2 millennia, archaeologists excavated a villa and found the remains of a pair eerily frozen in the final death throes. As per the traces of the old man's clothing, which also included a wooden cloak, archaeologists say that he was probably holding a higher status. Young man, around 18 to 25 years old, had various compressed vertebrae, suggesting that he was a manual laborer. Enslaved by his companion, the second individual wore a short pleated tunic made of wool. The team discovered the remains in the underground corridor of the ruined structure beneath 6 feet of ash. Pompeii's archaeological park director general, Massime Osana, said the victims were probably looking for shelter in the cryptoporticus in the underground, where they thought they were protected. Instead, the duo died in the rusk of heat as well as volcanic debris that flowed into the building. Their death was due to thermoshock, as demonstrated by their clenched hands and feet. The discovery of the new remains was preserved with the variation of a technique developed by Giuseppe Fiorelli, an Italian archaeologist, in 1863. The process of preserving involved pouring liquid chalk into the cavities left by decomposing bodies, as the plaster will fill the gaps in preserved teeth and bones, creating the cast of the bodies as they looked at the death moment. The archaeologists also said that seeing those deformed figures will surely feel moved, as they have been dead for 18 centuries. But humans are seen in their agony. This is not art. It is not an imitation. Those are their bones. The remains of clothes and flesh mixed with plaster is the pain of death that is formed by a human shape, preserving the lost city of Pompeii. Pompeii is an archaeological site that has been continually excavated for the longest time in the world. Due to its time, archaeologists discovered every step in the development of the science of archaeology tested in Pompeii with mixed results. Most of the research is centered on public buildings, as well as beautiful villas, and the discoveries of poor neighborhoods or slave rooms shed light on the lives of ancient Pompeians. Archaeologists hope that more discoveries will let them know the history lost with time. This forbidden chamber was surprising for the researchers, and with that, hope was generated to find more Pompeii treasures, defining ancient Pompeian life. Share your views in the comments below and subscribe for more.